Hey guys, what's up? This is Petra Rocks. This is my boy Dark Crimson.
What's going on, everybody?
We're about to get in with another reaction video. What's this we watching?
So what we're watching right now, such is going to be Casual Geographics. This right here is going to be based off of the how evolution created the most scientifically confused monkey. This right here is going to be very funny. So for those of you guys who know Casual Geographics, he's very funny and he's definitely going to be very educational. So hey, without further long, hey, let's get down to this video.
All right. Gas girl. Oh, woo, okay. Oh, these real images, huh?
I mean, this is supposed to be what they actually supposed to be.
Well, why is that bag on your head?
Why? No reason. Except you gave me the ugly.
Hey, yo!
When they say survival of the fittest, it's more like survival of if it works, it works. Because they didn't mean fit as in abs, arms, and selling supplements on Instagram. No, they mean fit as in like how good are you at staying alive long enough to make more of yourself.
Correct.
For example, you won't see a turtle with a Gymshark sponsorship. Yet a mobile boulder has been running the same playbook for a good 200 million years. And it's on islands where evolution really goes off one. You see, the thing is, because islands have more of a cap on how many people can be alive at once, islands have more specialist species than generalists. It's kind of like the job market. The more competitive it gets, the more DMs you get from people pushing Forex or overpriced underquality knives. So it makes sense for the oldest island in the world to have the most creatively questionable creatures on its roster. India divorced itself from the continent of Africa an estimated 150 million years ago, and then proceeded to lose custody of its loved child about 60 million years after that, and Madagascar has been on its own ever since.
Dang.
Meaning its residents have had nearly 90 million laps around the sun of character development to figure life out, which is how we ended up with the ugliest monkey in the world. Matter of fact, the first time scientists saw it, they legitimately thought it was a squirrel nature tried redrawing strictly for fun. It wasn't until about 100 years later that scientists realized that the eye is actually a primate, meaning this dehydrated gremlin is closer to you than to any squirrel. Although it's not a monkey, like I said, it's actually a lemur. Although I don't blame them for taking one look at it and being confused. The eye is built like an identity crisis. It has the body of a...
Like, I see some craziness. That's what I see. But I seen those particular, like, lemurs beforehand. I don't know if it's either in trees or, like, in anthills, though, but they actually use their long-ass fingers or so to be dipping in for food and all this other stuff and whatnot. So, like, they just go in, prick their little fingers in and be like,
Bro, you got
and I'm just like, I'm sitting here like, yo. I said, well, at least they using them fingers for something, because I'm looking like, bruh.
Yeah.
Body of a monkey, the ears of a bat, the bushy tail of a fox, the dental plan of a rodent, and hands that would have gotten it burnt at a stake in Salem. Even its name is more complicated than it needs to be. Most people say that the Ai's government came from the Malagasy phrase, I don't know. As in, they were so disgusted by a fetal golem that they didn't even want to utter its name. Imagine being so aesthetically upsetting that the people naming you decide you're not even worth an identity. Like the name on your wiki is pretty much, I don't know, the ugly stepchild of Madagascar.
I mean, yeah, because I'm like, I'm so confused. The hell am I looking at?
Its function, and the eye looks like animal casserole because they're specialists on steroids. Their favorite foods are the grubs that Lion King did a really good job of making actually look good. They use those huge bat ears to listen as they drum on pieces of wood. And once they hear a hollow spot, they use that beaver type overbite to drill through the wood, all while using that tail for balance, as they do this in complete darkness, which they have to since the eye is the world's largest nocturnal primate, which is a title that really means next to nothing since they're still small enough to have to only be active when the sun goes down, and so do their chances of being put out of commission by birds of prey or the biggest op to lemur life. But being the largest means they're not the only nocturnal primates out there, and arguably, not even the ugliest, because the tarsier legitimately looks like...
Yeah, that lemur right there looking like, I'm gonna look into your soul, nigga. Like...
That's a Yoda, man.
Bruh, get the fuck out of here.
For real though.
I mean, okay, first of all, Yoda, I don't mind looking into my soul because it's adorable, first of all. Even the old man is...
No. If Yoda was real, that's how Yoda would look. Okay? Not the Mandalorian one.
But I'm just saying, even in the Star Wars one, I don't mind that one looking into my soul or having those big old eyes because one, it's adorable. This motherfucker looking at me, I will freak the fuck out. And I swear, first of all, imagine this in the dark alley or so, or imagine this in the dark. You turn around and you see that thing like crawl on the walls. So when I turn around and open his eyes like, let go. I would freak out and back up like,
out. flash.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Even though it looks small and cute, them fucking eyes are too much. I said even Mort looks cute with those big eyes. That's fine. But this looked like something off of a horror flick.
Man. I think it's the color of eyes too. It's like, man, it's just big and green. Like
I know, but I'm imagining like, picture that thing like had laser beams. It's like you will fry you.
It looks like it's having an internal mental health crisis.
Exactly.
Like with the I don't know, form meets function. And this perked out primate having the biggest eyes relative to the body size of any animal means they can take in as much light as possible. This means this pocket-sized primate can hunt in total darkness while also avoiding being snatched up and turned into calories themselves. Even though they look fundamentally disturbed by their own existence. Maybe that's why they pull their own plugs in captivity. I don't have to factory reset themselves because there's plenty of people that'll do it for free. That's because I didn't mention the weirdest thing about them. Eyes have 6 fingers and one of them's 3 times longer than all the others. And it also happens to be their middle finger. So when this gremlin goes for groceries, it taps on trees like a Jehovah's Witness going door to door. And it's after using those never not growing teeth
like,
to bite themselves in that they use to scoop the grubs out. And if you've ever held an eye's middle finger, you've both lived my dream and probably thought it was broken. When in fact, that finger has a ball and socket joint that essentially gives it 360 movement. Basically, the way you can move your wrist and your hand is the way this rehab chipmunk moves its finger. That finger is great for grabbing grubs, but also for another favorite pastime of theirs. That pastime being mucophagy, meaning eyes might not choose their nose, but they sure as hell pick them. And that finger's long enough to pass through the nostrils and reach all the way down his throat.
Wow.
And despite the gag this video gave me that I'm gonna have to edit out, it's not painful for the eye, just to anyone watching.
look at that.
We don't really know exactly why they do this.
That's like a COVID test just digging
like
in
Freddy
everywhere.
Krueger.
I mean, dang.
Wow.
I mean, like he going ham in there, like that's what I call a nigga for gold right there.
No, man.
And I'm just, like I said, besides that, I'm thinking in my head, like, yo, like a picture man had that finger and such. Like, number one, I'm just looking like to me, that's too much. But then at the same time, I feel like if I'm about to,
No.
we don't know.
We don't know.
I'm gonna start going.
No, no fingers. Hell no.
Like I'm looking like let give me half that stitch to my fingers, and it's just like I'm about to. I'm really about to start digging in you.
I know he was gonna say that. I know. Oh my god.
Like I'm tickling your insides right there.
Nah. We good.
Scientific evidence suggests that eating it helps boost our immune system, but honestly, my search history is
He's still
personal.
doing it,
I'm
man.
really not trying to go down that rabbit hole. But you see, this is the kind of stuff only millions of years of character development in an isolated area can lead to. I mean, that's exactly how we got the ugliest frog in the world. And I know beauty's subjective, but I defy you to try and defend that. This frog has a name that sounds like I'm trying to test guidelines, and it's found only one place in the world. In the South American Lake Titicaca, which it's named
Lake
after.
Titty.
This frog looks like if Kermit ever snapped and went full Buffalo Bill.
Wow.
Lake, I'm not gonna say it again, as the world.
It's like it's got stretchy skin.
Feet, where there can be only a third of the oxygen you'd expect at sea level. So because frogs can breathe through their skin, the frog's extra post-liposuction looking skin means extra surface area to absorb oxygen.
Makes
which
sense.
is what makes it the ultimate specialist.
It kind of
It's
reminds me
skin
it's like
that
the
lets it live up here,
Hellbender,
almost certainly
but
get it
just a
packed
frog
up in a
version.
shirt anywhere else. Which is also why if you Google scrotum frog, 2 things will happen. You'll get this struggle toad's mugshot, and you'll end up on the same watch list as me. Unfortunately, despite looking like a grown man's hairless undercarriage, the frog with the name often gets deprived from life by people using it for food and medicine. Eyes also have to worry about getting turned into past tense by people, but for almost the opposite reason. You see, I was kidding with the whole gremlin thing. I actually think they're kind of cute. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And according to locals, eyes don't be holding nothing. Despite being a lemur that literally identifies as a woodpecker, locals were so terrified of it that they would murk it on sight. And here's where their biggest flex becomes a curse. Because according to folktales, not only was this primate a harbinger of evil, if it ever pointed that freakish middle finger at you, you might as well lease a casket since it meant you'd be a was sooner than later. One myth even said that if you didn't go out of your way to silence obituary first, the eye would break into your house and relieve you from life by stabbing you through the heart in your sleep. Obviously, it's not even close to being true.
I mean, honestly, I think besides the heart, I think it would just poke your brain out. Because I mean, literally, just like, come in here and just go, like just come in like past in, bitch.
like person, like a gun or something, man.
Yeah, because to me, I'm looking like I don't see the finger with how skinny it is and such to be enough to pierce you through the heart unless that thing like becomes as hard as steel.
Yeah.
And then it's like, and then all of a sudden be on some Popeye stuff and like finger pistol.
Yeah.
being true, but imagine being such an assault on the eyes that people decide that oxygen is wasted on you. It's the opposite of pretty privilege. It's like a disheveled disadvantage. And this homely handicap is a big reason why the eye is endangered. But another big reason is due to habitat loss. Because despite being in the same weight class as like a laptop, eyes are solitary and require all the space that comes with it. And while males can tolerate territory overlap, females ain't having none of that. Especially since eyes, like most lemurs, are female dominated. That includes ringtails, by the way. So King Julian, you know what? I'm gonna leave it at that. Those are really not that much different. Males will run the most outrageous of fades for females, even resorting to levels of erection deflection by pulling males off females while they're actively mating. Wow. Which is probably why male eyes will often lock into their females in the process, and they can stay stuck that way for up to an hour. This ensures that the male swimmers make it to the pool party no matter how much the competition tries to run interference. Because ultimately, like I said, eyes aren't that much different from us. They have 2 eyes, a mouth, a desire to breed, and a pair of nipples just like we all do. Except you might not notice them because eye nipples aren't in the neighborhood of where you'd expect them to be, since eye nipples are closer to the groin than they are to the chest. Because that honestly makes no less sense than anything else about a booger-eating, Swiss Army finger-wielding post-senior with a child lock for its junk.
Exactly.
Well, not an actual child lock. That'd be weird. But as far as weird goes, it might not even be the ugliest primate on the planet. I say that because the Ugly Animal Preservation Society, yes, that's a real thing, had a vote on the most aesthetically displeasing animal out there, and the eye didn't even make the top 5.
Wow.
You know who did? Yeah. This guy right here. The mascot
really?
That's good with.
Because scientists believe that a nose big enough for its own license plate and parking space is actually used to help catch a female's attention. As if one female decided she liked the way big nose is hanging. Now this monkey's entire
So you like my nose? It's big, ain't it?
Oh man.
Because Schnauz monkey also uses raging erections as a sign of aggression and a threat. If you don't believe me, pause this video and Google it.
No.
Oh wait. You probably won't see them in zoos, and the internet says it's because their specialized diet is too difficult to replicate. But I really think it's because no zoo wants to end up with a lawsuit because a proboscis monkey felt insecure and decided to mentally scar
Stir it up.
child. You probably won't see one of these either, but for different reasons. The snub-nosed monkey is like the shadow clone of the proboscis. Instead of a massive flex on its face, it instead looks like it could unlock Voldemort's phone. These monkeys, especially the golden snub-nose, have to live in the cold, mountainous forests of Asia, and it's believed that the snub-nose helps prevent it from getting frostbite. And yeah, in typical evolution fashion, the monkeys with a no-nose got to live long enough to pass it down, and the ones that didn't, well, you don't see them around for a reason. And like I said, in some cases, we're really no better than them, since black snub-nosed monkeys will actually use natural lipstick as a way to get attention. Except with them, it's actually the guys whose lips get the Kylie Jenner treatment. The males with the biggest and brightest lips get the best pick of partners. Red lips are one thing, but one monkey managed to take it even further. For so long, we didn't know why the Wakari cosplays as Red Skull with a receding hairline. Turns out, just like with the snub-nose's lips and this monkey's proboscis, it's what beauty standards in nature look like. Scientists now believe that the bright red color correlates to health and reproductive fitness. I know this because when a Wakari gets sick with like a malaria parasite or something, its face will get so pale it'll almost be white. So the redder the face this crimson chimp is, the healthier he looks and the more females he gets to poke. But the thing with specialist species is they usually live in one place and they're usually also endangered. The eye is no exception. In fact, at one point we thought they straight up got discontinued back in the 1930s until we accidentally rediscovered them over 20 years later. And today there's believed to be anywhere from 1,000 to 10,000 of them in stock, which isn't great, but they're still doing better than the ugliest animal in the world. So remember how I said Nosebee over here was voted in the top 5? Well, you want to know who was number 1? It was actually the blobfish.
Oh,
the fish
yeah.
that took a deflated blobfish fetus auditioned as a pinata.
Oh man.
Honestly, I don't think there's an animal we did dirtier than the blobfish. The streets probably didn't tell you, but this is what they're supposed to look like. It's just that their address happens to be in the bottom of the ocean. So to survive pressure that would turn any one of us into a chalk outline, the blobfish has few muscles, even fewer bones, and no swim bladder. They're basically just a pile of waterproof gelatin with eyes. And you remember the whole form is function thing? Well, if the blobfish looked more like a regular fish, it would instantly flatline and have its insides forced out of its mouth. The problem is, when blobfish get caught in trawling nets and get pulled up, the same body that spent millions of years evolving to live in the crotch of the ocean basically falls apart in itself on land. So yeah, we basically memed the soul fishing corpse and called it ugly. And in their defense, if the most attractive person you know got airdropped into the blobfish's neighborhood, no amount of personality would save their face from what the water pressure would do to it. We don't know how many blobfish are left in the world, but consensus says it's something like 400. So yeah, the blobfish definitely got screwed with the whole ugliest animal type. That dishonor definitely should have gone to this thing. It's a Damascus goat, and like the blobfish,
What is that?
A goat, apparently. Some weird ass shit one.
Selective breeding, we created a goat that looks almost cute as a baby, but then grows up into the steed of Satan.
Oh.
So basically, We pugged a goat, but these goats are incredibly valued for their milk and meat, and getting a purebred one will set you back a good $5,000 or more. Not only that, but this one was named the most beautiful goat in the world in 2008. So I guess the moral here is no matter how rough you might think you look, you're always going to be of value to somebody. Even if you look like you took a steel chair to the chin. And even if you look like something God made on a deadline. But that's going to do it for this video. Make sure to check out my TikTok and Instagram for more consistent content while you're waiting for the next video. And if you'd like to support this incredibly questionable content beyond just subscribing, my Patreon's also going to be in the description. But as always, never feel like you have to give anything. That aside, make sure you drink water, hug your mother, be glad your lady poker doesn't have a child lock on it. And I'll see y'all in the next one.
Oh, man.
Oh my god.
Aw. Poor thing. Wow.
Oh my god. Man, okay, yeah, this is why I want to become a rebologist, to like help animals like that and such, because it's like the blobfish ain't done nothing to nobody. It literally ain't doing nothing. Literally nothing.
Being a blob.
And it just being a blob. It's like I'm living my life right here, and all of a sudden I got dubbed the ugliest thing on earth. Damn. And it's like, damn, it's like
I mean, but technically, when it's in its habitat, it's not that ugly.
No, it looks like it's somewhere between like a big pufferfish and like something else. I don't know exactly what though, but it looks like a normal looking fish or so when it's there. Then it's like, then when you take it out of its habitat, it's like
yeah. So can we really call it the most ugly then? If it's not really naturally that ugly?
No.
So that's unfair.
Yeah. I don't sit here looking like that. Just look like Squidward or something like if he just got melted in the sun. Look.
No, the Noah's guy was Squidward.
Well, I mean, yeah, they're normally, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Oh man, but as always, y'all, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Also, make sure you hit that notification bell so you know every single time that me or Petra is doing a new video. Hey.
And I want to ask a question. Which are the 5 ugliest animals would you take home?
Oh yeah, definitely on that one and such. Put that in the comments down below, so letting us know. And also, too, hey, make sure you share out the video to everybody else and whatnot. Spread the word out. And so, hey, it's your boy, Dark Crimson DZ.
Petra rocks.
And we'll see you guys out on the next video. Laters.